right, as we are wrapping up the preseason of the 2021 NFL season and approaching the start, we have a little transaction out there, and we see Gardner Minshew, former starter last year of the Jacksonville Jaguars, was traded, and he was traded to the Philadelphia Eagles for, a conditional 6th-round pick, and this has all happened because of Trevor Lawrence being named the starter. A lot of people were surprised and thought, why was it taking so long for Trevor Lawrence to be named the starter? He was only the number 1 overall pick. He was considered the best quarterback since, Andrew Luck. And I know Trevor Lawrence hasn't had the best preseason. I mean, there's people already calling him busts out there. I mean, it's crazy that he hasn't played an NFL regular season game and he's getting called a bust. But now, with Lawrence being named the starter, they moved on from Minshew. And as much as I want to say, what are the Jaguars doing? Why are you trading him? He's a late round pick. He, has had some success. He's not like he's, if he was having lots of success, they wouldn't be drafting a quarterback, and they probably would have traded him sooner for much more than a conditional 6th-round pick. But then, But then if you think about it, if you look at this from Jacksonville's standpoint, it makes sense. Even though Minshew has not proven to be this stud quarterback, he's still got a cult following. He's Mr. Florida. He's got the mustache. He's the mullet. He's gone out and made plays. There were some people saying that, the Bears should have traded for him, or, the Colts should have gone with him over Carson Wentz. And because he's better than some of those guys out there, and I'm not saying that he's probably better. He is better than Andy Dalton last year. And, a lot of people said, why would you go with Carson Wentz after his struggles when you can get Minshew for a lot cheaper? I get that. And so, but if you're the Jaguars, you want to get him out just for the sake of, if Trevor Lawrence is struggling his rookie year, the last thing you want is, fans calling for Gardner Minshew. And you shouldn't, because you've got Trevor Lawrence and you're the Jaguars, but people are going to do that, and it's going to cause issues and blah, blah, blah. Even if I'm making out to be more than it is, that could happen. And if I'm the Jaguars and you've got Trevor Lawrence, I would rather have a veteran be his backup. What's another second-year pro really going to provide to Trevor Lawrence? And that's not a shot at Gardner Minshew, but it's reality. Minshew is limited in his experience, so you need someone to help Trevor Lawrence, in the quarterback room. And this is what I've seen, blah, blah, blah. Who that quarterback out there is, I don't know. Maybe it's somebody that'll get cut, but it's at least somebody. Now, the interesting thing is the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think this tells you a lot about Jalen Hurts. They had Jalen Hurts. They drafted him in the 2nd round. I didn't mind. Some people really criticized that pick, and I get it. You use a 2nd-round pick on a backup quarterback, but we've seen that Carson Wentz struggled to stay healthy, and so I thought, why not get a 2nd round? You reach a little bit on quarterback, you have him as your backup, in case Wentz gets hurt. Now, it turned out Wentz did get hurt, and then there was the infighting, blah, blah, blah. Wentz is gone, and Jalen Hurts was their quarterback. And the Eagles, with a top 10 pick in a draft that had Justin Fields that was available at that spot, Mac Jones, they had some options at quarterback, and they chose to pass on those guys and run it with Jalen Hurts. And maybe that's just because they wanted to see what they had. Maybe they weren't in love with those guys. And they said, let's see what we have. We've got 3 first-round picks potentially in the 2022 draft, if Hurts doesn't have success. And Hurts showed some glimpses at the end of last year when he was playing. But getting Gardner Minshew is an interesting pick interesting trade pick up in the trade, because how much level of confidence does that give them with Jalen Hurts? I mean, you're trading for a guy that's been in a starter that realistically is better than some of the other, better than Andy Dalton. A lot of people say he's better than Carson Wentz. I know Carson Wentz had a really bad year last year, but that's not the point. Better than probably Jared Goff. have they already started to say, hey, I don't know if Hurts is the guy. Maybe we have a roster that can have some success, put in Minshew, whatever it may be. Maybe I'm making it out to be more than what it is, but it was very intriguing to me that the Eagles were willing to go out and get him. That tells me that, they possibly might be playing him, and that'll be something to watch. If Carson Wentz ends up playing 75% of the snaps or 70% of the snaps and they go to the Super Bowl or playoffs, they got the Eagles have 3 first-round picks next year. Okay? Maybe they want to find out, hey, what do we have? Maybe they want to, because they're not dependent just on their pick and saying, oh, well, if Hurts isn't good and he's not having success, we'll keep playing him and we'll get that bad, top draft pick. Well, they can still, play well and contend, and still rely on the other teams to give them that first round pick. So I just think it's a little fascinating to see that they were the team that picked up Minshew. I mean, they didn't have to give up him a lot. He doesn't have a huge contract, but I wouldn't be shocked if Minshew is starting at some point.